All right. Looks like someone is ready to trade in some serious winter weather for, I'm guessing, some sunshine and beaches.
Always a good trade.
Always a good trade. So today we're diving deep into planning your first trip to Thailand.
Excellent.
And wow, you have been busy. You sent us a ton of travel blogs, some magazine articles, oh, and even a YouTube video from Bangkok Jack. I've seen that guy. He's fun.
He does get around, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's a lot to process. So we're here to help you distill all that info into an amazing 2-week itinerary.
Sounds good. From the looks of it, you're interested in the classic Thailand experience. A little bit of everything.
The trifecta.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that, the bustling city of Bangkok, the culture of Chiang Mai, and then, of course, down to those picture-perfect islands, Krabi and Koh Phi Phi.
Yeah. And your sources give us a lot to talk about to make sure you get the best of each spot.
For sure.
Okay, so let's start in Bangkok. You've got the must-sees on your list, the Grand Palace, Wat Pho with that massive reclining Buddha, and Wat Arun, those incredible porcelain towers.
Yeah. Can't miss those. They're must-sees for sure.
But one thing all of your sources really stress is getting an early start.
Especially at the Grand Palace, like right when it opens early.
Yeah, why is that?
It's kind of a survival tactic, honestly. The crowds can get really intense.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Especially during peak season. It gets hot and it gets packed. So if you're there early, it's like you have the whole place to yourself.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Now, speaking of crowds, there was one article that mentioned scammers targeting tourists around the temples.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
They might try to tell you a temple is closed and then redirect you to a shop or another site. What's the best way to handle that?
Well, honestly, I'd say if anyone comes at you with unsolicited information, especially about a temple being closed, just, be politely skeptical.
Yeah.
Stick to the official hours that you've researched, and don't be afraid to decline firmly, if it seems off. Trust your instincts.
If something feels off, it probably is.
Yeah.
Good advice. Okay, let's talk food. Your sources are, like, gushing about the street food in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And the pictures. I mean, the pictures look amazing in these blogs.
Oh, man, the food in Bangkok is incredible.
Any standout recommendations? Like, if you had to pick one food adventure.
You have to check out the Damnon Saduik floating market.
The floating market, okay.
It's not just about the food, which is fantastic, but the whole experience, vendors making and selling right from their boats, like the whole atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bangkok Jack, in his video, he actually suggests getting there super early, like 7 a.m.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, you'll beat the heat, you'll beat the crowds, you'll see it in full swing. It's pretty cool.
That's a good tip. He describes it as, like, stepping back in time, this authentic side of Bangkok you don't see in those modern malls.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you're also looking for authentic cultural experiences, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
What else stood out in your research?
So you mentioned Wat Arun earlier. One of the blogs actually suggests taking a guided tour.
Yeah.
And, not just seeing the temple, but actually understanding its history, the symbolism, the stories. It's like you go from just seeing something pretty to really, like, getting it.
Yeah. Adds a whole other layer.
Totally.
It's easy to get caught up, snapping pics and checking boxes, but it's the cultural depth that makes it memorable, right?
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of temples, we've got to talk about the dress code. I saw that pop up a few times, covering shoulders and knees.
Right, out of respect.
Yeah.
It's important. It's not just about the rules. It's about being, respectful of their culture and traditions. Plus, loose, lightweight clothing, honestly, you'll be happy you wore it in that Bangkok heat.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Okay, temples, markets. Now, how about getting around? What about Bangkok's infamous tuk-tuks?
Tuk-tuks, they are an experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, an iconic Bangkok experience. But, they do have a bit of a rep for inflated prices and scams.
Right.
Your sources actually recommend pre-booking a tuk-tuk tour with, a reputable company.
Fixed price, no hassle.
Right. That way you can enjoy the ride without that stress of haggling or worrying about getting, ripped off.
Yeah, that takes all the fun out of it if
Yeah.
you're worried about that.
It does.
That's a good tip, especially for first-timers. But maybe we should balance out that city energy with something a little more peaceful.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. One of the articles suggested exploring Bangkok's canals.
The klongs.
Yeah, by boat, the public boat. It's a totally different view of the city.
Really?
Yeah. You're cruising these waterways that, back in the day were like the main mode of transportation.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. Plus, you can hop off at different stops along the way, explore neighborhoods.
That's a good idea.
It's a nice way to kind of escape the craziness for a little bit.
Yeah. And the article also mentions this temple, Wat Paknam, that not a lot of tourists go to.
Oh, yeah.
A local favorite. It's supposed to be really peaceful and beautiful.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, finding those spots that are off the beaten path.
Yeah. Authentic, less crowded.
Yeah, the hidden gems, for sure.
Now, speaking of hidden gems, one blog recommended exploring Chinatown, specifically Yaowarat Road. It's supposed to have amazing street food
Oh, yeah, it does.
beyond the typical pad thai.
Yeah. And if you want a different vibe in the evening, head to Soi Nana. It has some more upscale cocktail bars.
Nice. Okay, so before we move on from Bangkok, let's talk about where to stay. You mentioned the Havana Riverside Bangkok Hotel with that infinity pool overlooking the river.
Oh, man, those views.
It looks incredible.
It's a great choice. Luxury, convenience, you've got it all.
And they have a free shuttle boat to the city center.
Yeah, no dealing with traffic.
That's great. Now, one article also mentioned checking out Khao San Road for the backpacker scene.
The backpackers.
Or Soi Rambutri for a different vibe. Are those good areas to experience the nightlife?
Well, Bangkok has a nightlife for everyone.
Yeah.
Khao San Road, you got to experience it at least once.
Yeah, for the people watching at least.
Exactly. It's a bit of a sensory overload, but in a good way. So Rambutri is a bit more laid back.
Okay.
So, yeah, depends what you're looking for.
So it sounds like Bangkok is going to be a pretty incredible start to your Thailand trip. But before we get lost in the city, let's head north to Chiang Mai.
A little slower pace.
Yeah, the cultural heart of the country.
Beautiful. We'll talk all about it next time.
Absolutely. All right, so from the crazy energy of Bangkok, we are heading up north.
To the mountains.
Yeah, to the mountains, Chiang Mai. It's known as like the cultural heart of Thailand, right?
It is.
And it seems like a good place to like slow down a little bit, connect with those traditions.
Definitely. It's a pretty amazing transition, going from like those skyscrapers and that crazy traffic in Bangkok
Yeah.
to like lush green hills and ancient temples. It's pretty special.
Yeah. And speaking of temples, Doi Sothep is high on your list.
High on a mountain, literally.
Literally high on a mountain overlooking the city. Those pictures, wow.
It's an incredible temple. And for a lot of Thais, it's like a pilgrimage site.
Oh, wow.
It's a big part of like Chiang Mai's spiritual history. And one of your articles suggested a guided tour that also stops at a Shomong village nearby.
Oh, cool.
So you get to see both sides, religious and cultural.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I read that the views from Doi Sothep at sunset are like next level.
Ah, yeah. Imagine standing there as the sun sets over the city and those mountains.
Wow.
Magical.
Okay, sunset at Doi Sothep. Definitely adding that to the list.
Good call.
Now, to get from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, I'm guessing flying is the way to go.
Yeah, it's the most efficient option for sure. Short flight, maximize your time. Plus, you get a pretty cool view of the country from up there.
Scenic flight. Okay. Now, where to stay in Chiang Mai? Several sources suggest staying near Taipei Gate.
Yeah, that's the heart of the old city. You're close to everything. Temples, markets, nightlife. You'll have plenty of options for, hotels and guest houses around there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, one article mentioned the Yu Chiang Mai and the Shangri-La Hotel as places that really capture that Thai character. Are those worth considering?
Yeah, they both have a unique vibe. The Yu Chiang Mai is modern, but with those traditional touches. It's very stylish.
Right.
The Shangri-La is classic luxury, beautiful gardens, amazing views. So it depends what kind of experience you're looking for.
That's good. And I have to mention this, the cafe scene in Chiang Mai, there are trendy cafes everywhere.
There are. And a lot of them aren't just about coffee. They're like these creative spaces, cool design, amazing food, local ingredients. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. One blog specifically recommended Wu Cafe. They even have live music in the evenings.
Oh, Wu Cafe is great. They have like a garden setting, really good food, healthy options too, and they're big on sustainability, which is cool. The live music just adds to the vibe,
I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so temples, cafes, and now I'm seeing massage from a blind masseuse on the list.
Intrigued.
Very. Tell me more.
So this is something unique you'll find in Chiang Mai, Phalana Spa. They offer these luxurious massages, and you can choose to have it done by a blind masseuse.
Nope.
They have this incredible sense of touch. It's supposed to be like a deeper, more intuitive experience.
That's fascinating. And it really speaks to like Chiang Mai's focus on wellness and healing, right?
It does.
Okay, let's talk food. What are the must-try dishes in Chiang Mai?
Okay, you can't miss khao soi. It's a northern Thai curry noodle dish.
Cow soy.
Yeah. Rich, flavorful curry, coconut milk, egg noodles, and then your choice of, meat or tofu, usually topped with crispy noodles for a little crunch.
Ooh, I like crunchy. Now, I'm also seeing the Sunday night market on your list. What's so special about this one?
Sunday night market, it's huge. It takes over a whole street in the old city.
Wow.
Food stalls, handicrafts, souvenirs, clothing, you name it, they probably have it. Plus, there's live music, so it's a whole atmosphere. You can spend hours there, easy.
Okay, so we've got Doi Surthep for those incredible views and uh, cultural immersion, cafes for the trendy side of Chiang Mai, blind massage for unique wellness experience, khao soi for our foodie adventure,
Check, check, check.
Sunday night market for the local vibes. Anything else we should add to our Chiang Mai adventure?
One of your sources really emphasized responsible tourism, especially when it comes to animal encounters.
Right, yeah.
Elephant riding is a popular thing in Thailand, but it's super important to choose ethical sanctuaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to make sure these animals are treated well.
Exactly. And the Elephant Jungle Sanctuary is consistently mentioned as like a reputable place. You get to
Okay.
interact with the elephants, feed them, bathe them,
Oh, wow.
but it's in a natural environment. And they're focused on rescue and rehabilitation.
That's good to know. So now I'm seeing face pancakes in your notes. What's that all about?
Oh, that's just a fun thing you'll find at the night bazaar.
Okay.
You can get a pancake with your face printed on it.
Oh, wow.
It's a novelty, but hey, it's those little things that you remember.
Yeah, a delicious souvenir. Speaking of the night bazaar, your sources recommend a Khao Kamu stand and Mrs. Pa's smoothie stand. Any tips on navigating this massive market?
Well, for the Khao Kamu, look for the stall with the longest line.
Okay.
Usually a good sign. It's braised pork leg, by the way. Delicious.
Sounds good.
Mrs. Pies is easy to find. She's this cheerful lady with a ton of fresh fruit. You can't miss her.
Perfect. So from temples and ethical elephant encounters to trendy cafes and face pancakes, Chiang Mai seems like a pretty awesome mix of, like, culture and beauty.
It is.
But we have one more destination to cover, those beautiful islands of the Andaman Sea. Where are we headed next?
Next up, it's island time. Krabi and Koh Phi Phi.
Sounds good to me. All right, so we've braved the Bangkok streets, explored those incredible temples in Chiang Mai, and now it's time for, well, I guess you could call it a reward.
The grand finale.
Yeah, those picture-perfect islands, right?
Pigs.
The Andaman Sea Krabi, Koh Phi Phi, turquoise waters, dramatic cliffs, beaches. I'm ready to relax just thinking about it.
Me too. Your sources are pretty enthusiastic about this part of the trip, and it looks like you've got about 6 days set aside to explore both Krabi and Koh Phi Phi.
Yeah, 6 days in paradise, not bad, not bad. We talked about flying from Chiang Mai to Krabi being the most efficient, right?
Right.
But once we're there, how do we navigate this island wonderland?
Okay, so your sources make a key distinction between Krabi Town and Ao Nang. Krabi Town is great. It's got that more local vibe, but Ao Nang, that's where you want to be for those beaches and those long-tail BERT trips to the islands.
Okay, Ao Nang it is. Now, for a place to stay, the Ao Nang Cliff Beach Resort kept popping up.
Yeah, that infinity pool overlooking the cliffs.
I know, it's amazing.
And it's not just the views, it's got everything, close to the beach, restaurants, shops, and they've got all those amenities to like really make your stay relaxing.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about those must-do island experiences. James Bond Island and Hong Island are mentioned a lot. Kayaking through caves, a floating fishing village. It's like stepping into a movie.
It is. And Bangkok Jack, he specifically recommends taking a long-tail boat tour.
Okay.
It's slower than a speedboat, but you get more time to like actually see everything, enjoy the scenery.
I can get behind that, slow down, savor the moment.
Exactly.
Another one I saw was the 4-island tour. Koh Pota, Chicken Island, Koh Tub, and Koh Moor. Crystal clear waters, beaches, even lunch on the beach. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, you get to see a few different islands on that one. And you can choose between long-tail boats and speedboat. The speedboats obviously give you more time on each
Yeah,
island.
good to know. Now, Koh Phi Phi.
Yeah.
It has a bit of a reputation as, a party island.
Yeah.
But your research suggests there's a quieter side to
Oh,
it.
yeah, for sure. Tonsai Pier, that's where the party's at. But if you stay on the northern part of the island, it's much more peaceful.
Okay.
The Holiday Inn Resort, Koh Phi, that was recommended a lot. It's a secluded location, luxurious, a real oasis.
That sounds more my speed, a peaceful oasis.
Yeah.
But how do we even get to Koh Phi Phi?
So you'll take a ferry from Krabi to Tonsai Pier. And then from there, a long-tail boat to the northern part.
Okay.
But a lot of the hotels, like the Holiday Inn, they offer transfer services, which can make it easier.
Much easier, I bet.
Okay.
Okay, so once we're on Koh Phi Phi, in our peaceful oasis, which we do.
Okay, exploring by longtail boat or kayak, that's highly recommended. Maya Bay, from the movie The Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely worth seeing, but it can get crowded.
Makes sense.
Monkey Beach, obviously. Monkeys.
Guess see the monkeys.
Viking Cave and Pila Lagoon. Stunning natural beauty. And the snorkeling around Koh Phi Phi is amazing.
Ooh, snorkeling.
Yeah, there's a spot called Shark Point where you might even see blacktip reef sharks.
Sharks. Okay, are they, like, dangerous?
No, they're pretty harmless,
Oh.
shy even. But it's still cool to see them, in their natural environment.
That's going on the list. And I saw a recommendation for hiking up to the Koh Phi Phi viewpoint.
Yeah, for panoramic views, it's a bit of a climb, but the views from the top are, they're breathtaking. You see those iconic twin bays.
Oh, wow. Okay, last question. Food recommendations on Koh Phi Phi.
Chili and pepper. Family-run place. It's actually in a converted treehouse.
Treehouse.
Yeah. Great Thai food, friendly atmosphere.
I like it. Okay, so we've covered bustling markets, serene temples, elephant encounters, island hopping, snorkeling with sharks, and now dinner in a treehouse. Thailand seems pretty incredible.
It is. And your research, you've got a great plan. Just remember, flexibility is key.
Yeah, good point.
Don't be afraid to deviate from the itinerary, if something catches your eye or you just need a day to relax and process it all.
Very good advice.
Yeah.
Embrace the unexpected, right?
Right.
Okay, before we wrap up our deep dive, your sources mentioned a few general travel tips. Let's touch on those.
Okay, first, internet access. Super important. Your sources recommend getting a personal Wi-Fi hotspot. It's more reliable than relying on free Wi-Fi.
Good to know.
Mhm.
And for money, using Thai ATMs is generally better for exchange rates than those airport kiosks.
Right. And don't forget to let your bank know you're traveling.
Oh yeah, good point. Now this one might not be so obvious for here. Be prepared for Thai restrooms.
Yeah, yes.
Not all of them have toilet paper. And even if they do, you shouldn't flush it.
Right, use the bins. It's a cultural thing.
Good to know. Now, one source suggested learning a few basic Thai phrases. Shows respect, and it can really enhance your interactions.
It can. Even just sawasdi for hello or kap kun for thank you can go a long way.
Yeah, it's those little gestures that make a difference. Well, there you have it. From Bangkok to Chiang Mai to those amazing islands, we've pulled together the best tips to help you plan an unforgettable 2-week trip.
You've got an amazing itinerary, a good mix of everything. And remember, travel is more than just checking things off a list. It's about embracing the unexpected, immersing yourself in the culture, making memories.
So pack your bags, grab your sense of adventure, and get ready to experience the magic of Thailand.
Safe travels.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.